everybody, and welcome to episode 13 of Kings Connected. My name is Dylan Baker. In our last episode, we got a chance to sit down and chat with Will German, a forward who is returning to the Camoka Kings for the 2020-2021 season. Will last year was a very talented player, and you could see it in the fact that he was selected to the GOJHL Future Stars game, and every time that he hit the ice in Camoka. We're very excited to watch him continue to grow and develop. Today we'll talk to somebody who is going to help him on that journey, as we'll chat with Colin Martin, the first-year head coach of the Camoka Kings. Colin's been an assistant for 2 seasons prior to this one, and was named head coach earlier this spring. Without further ado, let's get started with Colin Martin. I'm now joined by Colin Martin, head coach of the Camoka Kings. Colin, how are you today?
Good, thanks. How you doing?
I'm not too bad. Getting things started. You've spent the past 2 seasons as an assistant with the Kings. Was coaching something you had always wanted to get into?
Absolutely. Growing up and playing hockey in the city here, as a summer job, I would tend to go to hockey schools and help out and constantly learn off other coaches. It's definitely something that I saw down the line. And when I retired from professional there, and actually it was funny, Roop kind of just walked into a place called Snipe Academy where I was working before and said they were needing an assistant coach, and one thing led to another, and I was coaching there the next week. So I'm happy to be here. It's been a blast, and I can't wait to get going here for the 3rd season.
That's awesome. A cool story like that to get you into junior B coaching, and now you're the head coach of the Kings. You were named head coach this spring. What was it like when you received the news that you got the job?
Oh, it was exciting. Obviously with Ronnie leaving, it's a little difficult because Ronnie's such a good guy and he's taught me so much. But at the same time, I feel like I'm ready. I'm excited to get going, and Roop, Ray, and all of our support staff has been amazing with making this as easy as possible for me.
That's great. Of course, this year is such a different year for transitioning into a new position because you've had so many limitations from a recruitment perspective, and you're not able to have the rookie camp as well. So there have been a lot of changes to adapt to this year, and it's great that you've had a good support staff to help get you through it in year 1 as head coach. Now, you've been an assistant under Ron Horvat with the Kings. How do you feel Ron added to your coaching abilities, and how does that benefit you now being a head coach?
Well, in my perspective, it's always good to learn off someone that's smarter than you. And to be honest with you, Ron Horvat has been coaching for a long time. He's a lot smarter at coaching than I am. So, being able to learn off him for 2 years is the biggest thing, from a day-to-day basis, from how he runs practice, how he runs his bench, and importantly, how he communicates with players. Going from an assistant role to a head coaching role, you have to be a little different where you communicate with players, and just being able to learn and watch what he was doing, and it was amazing for me. And Ronnie's such a good guy, and I wish him all the best. And I can't thank him enough for how much I learned off him in those 2 years.
That's fantastic, and we hear it so often how Ron's a player's coach, and those relationships are so very important in the head coaching position. What are some of the memories that you can take away from the past couple of seasons with the Kings, and what do you feel you can look forward to as head coach?
Just the memories going from my first game in Strathroy Arena and bringing back the memories from when I played there, to going to Game 7 versus Leamington in the second round last year, or 2 years ago. Sorry, it was a phenomenal ride with those guys. Everyone had us written off in the first round, and we proved them wrong. And that came from our locker room, came from a bunch of leaders and guys coming together. And it's such a phenomenal thing to see when you see 18 young men like that get together. And memories from last year, what a great group of guys that never gave up. I don't think people really realize how much adversity we went through last year with injuries, suspensions, and so on and so forth. There was a time when we were traveling to LaSalle with 14 players, and we won. It's those games that you always remember. It's the games that those guys battled and did everything they possibly did for each other to win games. And those are the memories that I'm taking from this.
Yeah, for sure. Last year, the team dealt with quite a few injuries and players going different places and so many different things. But you guys finished in a playoff spot, made it to the playoffs. Unfortunately, a first-round exit to the Leamington Flyers. But the year prior, a very exciting playoff run, and we hope that we can replicate that run and maybe even go further this year. Roop Chanardad, president and GM, says he's very excited to have you as head coach, and he loves your enthusiasm and energy. He also said that it's important to have an understanding of how he wants to go about building the Kings into a top-tier junior B team. What are your thoughts on Roop's words?
Well, I appreciate his words and the excitement, and I'm excited too. This is going to be a blast for me, blast for the players. This is exactly how you said there. We want to go far. If I told you right now that I just wanted to make playoffs, I'd be lying. I want to win a championship, just like every other coach should want to win a championship. As of right now, I'm excited. We do have our goals that are set for the year, that how we want to finish in the standings, stuff like that. And the players are going to be setting goals as well, individual and team goals. So, we're ready to get going. But honestly, like if any coach is saying out there that they just want to make playoffs, they'd be lying. Like you go to win a championship every year, and the guys that we've recruited, returning players, and some guys that we have to add on later. These are the guys that we're going to go with in this league, and we're excited. We got a great recruiting class. We have great returning players. Yeah, we're excited for the year to get started. But our goal at the beginning of every year is to win a championship.
I don't know. I'm excited to watch the team next season with the new guys and the returning players. You have been. I noticed last year that you were one of the most passionate, competitive coaches in the league. Is there a reason for that?
Put myself in their shoes. It's I am older, but I see situations and that I want to help out as much as I can. And yeah, that's something that I had to learn my first couple of years is to kind of relax behind the bench. And I'm teaching now. I can't tell you the amount of times I want to run to the locker room real quick, put my gear on, and then hop out with the guys and go to battle with them. But for me, it's having that passion and let the players know that I care for them. I'm here to fight for them. And when we go out on that ice and that puck drops, it's a battle, and I'm right there with them.
That's great. That's a great mentality to have. Now, you're a young head coach. You talked about it there. Having just come out of your playing career a couple of years ago, do you feel that having recently played helps you relate to players a little bit more?
Yes, I do. I think that it's a new style of game, and it has changed within the last 5-10 years when I was playing at that level. Playing the OHL, playing the CIS, playing the East Coast League. Having all the different coaches that I had really helped too, different philosophies and different practice types, and being able to learn from that and seeing what I like and seeing how I benefit from a lot of it. And, it does help me communicate with the players and in a good way where I can help them become, yes, good hockey players, but more importantly, better men off the ice. So, being able to talk to them on a human-to-human level and just be able to talk to them about everything that they need to do to be good on the ice, but also try to help them as much as I can off the ice.
That's great that you've been able to take some of your past coaches and experiences and help transition it now, because as you touched on there, it's a new game. It's a completely different game than what it was, say, 10, 15 years ago. So we're excited to watch the team play next season. Coming into this season, your first as a head coach, does your mentality change at all from the one that you've had the past couple of years?
No, in the sense that I want to win. I played in the London Knights organization for 4 years. We win, and that's exactly what I want to bring to this with Kamoka is, you need that winning mentality. And as an assistant coach, you're going in to help those guys prepare on a different basis just because the head coach is making the calls. And so, yes, in a sense, it is changing a little bit, but at the same time, no, it's we have the same goal at the beginning of every game, and I have to do my new job, and my assistants have to do their new job, other than Mike, who will be returning with us. But we need to come together as a group, coaching staff, management, and just set that example for our players. So I think that will be a good trend for us to set next year.
Definitely. And of course, the London Knights, one of the most storied franchises in the OHL. All they do is win. And if you can bring some of that to the Kings, that'll be something to look forward to for fans. When you were announced head coach, it was also announced that assistant Mike Riatti, as you mentioned there, and goalie coach Dave McDonald will be staying on board next year. How important was it for you to have them on your staff next season?
Oh, critical. Mike's a great guy and Dave's a great guy. They're there every day, in and out, working hard with the players. Obviously, Dave's just with the goalies, and that's so important for us to have those faces around that, players know. So a lot of these kids that we recruited were around our team last year in the sense of coming to our games or us going out to see them, and they know who we are. So it's good to keep those familiar faces around. And, Dave's great and Mike's great, and we're both really excited, or all three of us are really excited to get the season started.
For sure, that familiarity is something big for players because they know kind of who you are and a little bit of what to expect from you next season. Now, we've seen and talked to quite a few players new players joining the organization for next year. What went into the recruiting this offseason?
Well, COVID really put a turn into what usually happens. Usually we were able to have a mini camp and be able to see these players early spring. That wasn't able to happen this year. So it was a lot of phone calls, a lot of Zoom chats, a lot of Skype chats, FaceTime, anything like that. I wanted to talk to these players and get to know them as much as I can before we made that decision. And more importantly, we wanted to do our homework on our players. Obviously, every team has a list at the end of the year of their top guys, and we did a great job with being able to get most of the guys that we had in that top sector. So it's not just me; it's Roop, it's Mike, it's Ray, it's Dave. We're a team. Everybody's talking to these players and we need to be able to compete with London, and that they're doing that, and that's something that we really prided ourselves in this off season, is to put in the time to get these players and we'll do our homework and figure out what we need to be successful next year.
For sure, obviously, you got to contend with the top tier teams in the conference, and we want to make it to the Sutherland Cup and hopefully win a championship. You guys have assembled a great team this year, and we're looking forward to seeing them on the ice. Final question for you, Colin: do you have any goals set for yourself or the team this year?
Yes, personally, I have goals and for the team, and the team itself. That comes from the players. I want to hear what the players have to say, where they're thinking at the beginning of the year. Obviously, I have a number of wins that I would like to get, but at the same time, it's a learning experience for all of us. We need to go in there with it's a blank sheet. It's a fresh start. So there's nothing that's happened in the last 15, 16 years since Roop's owned this organization and traveled everywhere. This is the 2020-2021 season that we're going into, and it's a blank sheet for me and blank sheet for the players, and it's time to prove that we can compete, if not win this league this year.
We're excited to watch it happen. Thanks for joining me today, Colin.
Thanks, Biggs.
That was Kings head coach Colin Martin. We thank Colin once again for joining the show today, and you could really hear how much he wants to motivate players. He wants to show these guys that he is in it with them, and that's a really important quality to have because he's ready to go to war for these guys, and he touched on it there. He wants to at times go into the dressing room, get his equipment on, and step onto the ice with them, but obviously he's unable to do that, and we're really excited to see the product that Colin and Roop and Mike and Dave and Ray have put on the ice. We're looking forward to it. In our next interview on Kings Connected on Thursday, we'll talk to one of Colin's assistants. We'll chat with Mike Riatti. We're very excited for that interview as well. We're looking forward to it. We'll see you then. This has been episode 13 of Kings Connected.